Hey, welcome everyone. Fred Gleeck here with Bill DeWees, who is, thank you, Bill, for being here.
Thank you, Fred.
I'm at Bill's house here in Bourbonnais, Illinois, and Bill is my longest term partner. And why don't you tell people how we kind of got started?
Well, I've been a voice actor for 17-ish years, and several years into my career, people were reaching out to me, asking me, word started to spread about how well I was doing, how much work I was getting, which was far above the average for voice acting. And it got to be such a regular thing, and I was tired of taking people out to lunch to
Share your knowledge.
well, yeah. Everybody would pick my brain. My brain had been picked dry. And I thought, I've got to find, if I'm going to do this and I'm going to coach, I need to find a way to leverage this and monetize it. And so I just went online. I Googled like any smart guy would do, and Fred popped up to the top of the list. As a well-known, respected, renowned information marketer, I reached out to Fred. Fred invited me to Las Vegas, where he lived at the time, to sit in on one of his workshops. We decided at the end of that workshop that we do a partnership, and it's been crazy good.
Yeah, and the thing is, that was really the start of this whole thing that I'm now calling dynamic equity integration, which is the whole idea of, instead of, and this is mainly geared to people who are coaches and consultants already, who are doing work mainly on an hourly or monthly fee basis. And what I'm suggesting that they do is to find ways in which they can partner with people like you and I have done over the past 12 years to create a real business. And I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on the partnership, how it was created, how it's evolved, and what results it's produced?
Yeah, there are some things that I think you just do better with other people than you can do by yourself. I mean, I've got a certain set of skills. I'm good at what I do, but either I can't because I don't have the skill set, or I don't have the time to do everything that needs to be done myself. That's why I need somebody like Fred who really understands the market and how to do that. So combined, I always tell, when people ask me about Fred, I say, Fred's like the guy out in front with a machete in the jungle, and he is chopping down the trees and the bushes, making a path for me to do what I do, so that I'm not expending all of my energy trying to figure stuff out, so that I can just bring my content in and deliver that, get new customers. I think, the machete, I hope you don't mind that.
I like it.
The wild man with the machete.
I like it. In the Philippines, we use machetes a lot.
Okay, so you get that comparison.
Not always for good purpose.
But having a partnership like that, it makes it more fun, and certainly has made it very profitable.
Well, the one thing that I want to the approach that I want us to take going further with this video is that the people, I've now done this with you, and I've done it with a number of other subject matter experts. So what I'm suggesting to the folks that are watching this video is they're coaches and consultants probably making between $15,000 and $20,000 a month. Mm-hmm. And I'm suggesting that they change their approach to pricing, that they find people that they can work with in which they're not doing an hourly or a monthly deal, but in fact are doing something that involves equity, which is you and I are doing an arrangement that if I get hit by a bus tomorrow, part of our arrangement is that you will continue to pay Kayla or Kyle, mm-hmm. my kids, as long as the business continues to go, right. As in our case, like 10% forever. Mm-hmm. And to me, I think that people who are doing coaching and consulting on a monthly or an hourly basis are missing the boat here in some cases. Now, there might not be everyone who's willing to do this. And certainly somebody who has an existing business probably won't do a deal like ours, which is a 50-50 split. They may be willing to do a deal that goes, and I always tell people somewhere between 10 and 50 is probably a good range. So if somebody had an ongoing business. But if you were talking to someone who was either a coach or a consultant who's currently using the traditional model of monthly fees or hourly fees, what would you tell them from your perspective about why this kind of an equity deal makes sense?
Well, the first thing that popped into my mind, I don't know if this is exactly what you're thinking, but this is the first thing that I thought of. And that is, I really undervalued myself. And I didn't realize by how much, because I'll never forget when we first did our first program, and you said, well, we're going to sell this for X number of dollars, whatever it was. And I remember thinking, What?
Yeah.
Who's going to
Yeah.
pay that? And now as I think back, it's laughable. It wasn't that much money. But again, we don't have that objectivity about our own value. But that's one thing you've always had, because and it's always, you've always pushed me to the point of, discomfort, because it just didn't, I thought, really? But you've never been wrong.
Like when we made the move from, I think, $1997 to $5,000 for Blueprint.
I thought, who in the world? Yeah. Yeah, but yet here we are, with $1 million a year business, and people buy it, every day. And so I think you need to get outside your own head and your own set of, goggles and have a more objective view from an experienced person, which is what, one of the things Fred brings to the table. I think that's so important.
And I think it's also good for people to know who are considering this program, which I call the 90-day Dynamic Equity Accelerator, which is basically, and I don't know if I've told you this in full, but so the program is that people come in for 90 days and I will help them find, locate, and land an equity partner like you and I have, that kind of a deal, within 90 days. And if it doesn't happen within 90 days, I'll continue to work with them for up until a year until they land an equity deal. And if I don't help them land an equity deal in a year, I'll give them all their money back. Now, in addition to that, not to add a little bit more juice to the whole thing, is, and you've seen my ability to do sales. One of the things that I'm offering them is that I will get on the phone with these coaches and consultants to help them close that first deal. So now, if you could, tell me and tell those watching what you think of that as an offer, A, and B, what do you think about that additional element of telling people that I will get on the phone with them to help them close the deal?
First of all, it's a crazy good deal. I about fell out of my chair when you told me. I didn't realize that was the deal. That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, I don't think you knew this.
I did not know that. Yeah. No, it's the first time hearing it. Secondly, if you ever have the chance to have somebody on the telephone with you for a sales call, Fred's the guy you want on the call. As a matter of fact, we're sitting at my house literally, a half hour ago. A gentleman showed some interest in the program. Fred and I jumped on a phone call
together,
and Fred had him closed within, we were on the phone for maybe 15 minutes, but it was long before that he was ready to roll. So that's a heck of a deal.
Yeah. So if you're considering the program, again, this isn't right for everyone. That's the main thing I want to impress upon people. And we do this with our program that we present to voiceover artists as well, which is, I don't know if you're a good fit, but I know that after watching this video and some of the other materials you may have seen from me, that it's probably worth talking to me. And believe me, this is not going to be a hard sell, because if you're not the right match for this program, you're not the right match.
Yeah.
And I the other thing that I like to impress upon people is that one of the criteria that I use for getting partners like you is, I don't want to do business with anyone that I wouldn't want to have over to my house for dinner. So that becomes one of the elements as well. And there's the barking dogs, which indicates the end of the video.